I want to clarify one misconception about relationships, particularly marriages. There is a joke. Why there are so few divorces in India? Because in India, the bride paints a red dot on her forehead and the groom is given a gun. Jokes aside, the traditional cultures, those that are much older than our Western civilization, have a more natural approach to marriage. Over there, for example, people get to love who they marry, whereas here, in the civilized world, we marry whoever we fall in love with. No wonder the vast majority of our civilized marriages falls apart, and the vast majority of people here is miserable and lonely even with someone, especially with someone. Our propaganda puts down everything related to other cultures that are different. So most of what you think you know about, for example, India, is not true, such as arranged marriages. Here we believe that this is a savage custom where a poor yet innocent little girl forcibly gets engaged to a rich old man, always ugly and lustful, sort of legalized pedophilia. Of course, there are deviations everywhere, even in the cultures that try to preserve and maintain true values. But these cases are rather exceptions. So, what the arranged marriages used to be before lustful old men started to abuse this idea. In the good old times, people knew how this world functions, in particular, how to find out their child's predisposition to a certain occupation and marriage. Astrology was a precise and highly respected science, until our modern science had proclaimed it to be a pseudoscience, the term we use for competitors when we cannot beat them in quality. Upon the birth of a child, its parents visited an astrologist who would calculate and describe the child's overall destiny and its most auspicious partner in terms of birth date and time. Then the parents would look around for a child of the opposite sex, whose birth criteria would fit the calculations, which would almost guarantee the perfect compatibility of the future spouses. Then they would meet the parents, discuss everything, and become friends. Their children would grow side by side together, getting to know each other and becoming used to each other. By the age of getting married, they would know each other perfectly and usually would already love each other. The reason is simple. The celestial compatibility implies mutual attraction when their souls communicate directly. It also implies the life path of people, including its karmic teachers that take form of their parents, friends, enemies, spouses, partners, everybody and everything else. Also, children don't have as many masks and fake personalities as most adults do. Such couple would never split or have serious fundamental disagreements, leave alone cheating on each other or fighting. Since we are on the subject, the related misconceptions for most civilized people are harems. Again, we judge them because we know nothing about the concept. Mostly, it's external appearance. External appearance. Sounds like a tautology. Today's harems are not what it used to be ages ago, when people lived in accordance with the universal laws. As usually, we took the great idea, distorted it beyond recognition, and turned into something disgusting. In this case, harems became the means of gender discrimination. In good old times, the rulers were no match for the current ones. They did not treat their countries as their personal wallets and their people as their serfs who could be pushed around, taxed and sacrificed without impunity. The rulers truly cared about their people and their well-being. I understand this is hard to imagine, try. But the good old times weren't always good. Back then wars happened also. As usually, many men died during wars, leaving behind widows and orphans. When this happened, the rulers took these women and children under their guardianship. Usually these were special organizations at the royal palaces. Women who had lost their breadwinners moved there and lived there. The king became their breadwinner. These were real harems. Any sexual interaction with these women were out of question, Since the king took full responsibility for them, formally they all were his wives. They simply lived on the government support until they got married again, or until their eldest son grew up and took responsibility for their mother, or their whole life. This was possible because male polygamy was the norm. Now, before shooting me for chauvinism, mono and polygamy are questions of physiology, not someone's whims. And then, only now, in the era of global degradation, people confuse family life with sexual pleasures. It also may be hard to believe, but earlier, people didn't fuck just for the sake of it, like apes to get pleasures. And male polygamy was never intended to please men. A man married as many women as he could take responsibility for. He did it with dignity, without treating his wives like sexual objects, and all his wives received great benefits from the marriage to a worthy man. Much later, with the degradation of humanity, including rulers, starting with rulers actually, they began to take advantage of the widow's desperate situation, turning their harems into the personal whorehouses. Then they began to collect more beautiful women, usually taking them from slaves. This atavism still flourishes in many third world countries, giving the propaganda another reason to convince us that our modern civilization is the best possible option. Also, in my opinion, neither extreme can justify its opposite. I don't urge anyone to live in full accordance with the laws of nature. Today this is practically impossible. I will be sharing with you more knowledge about how it really works. Meanwhile, if you have questions, ask me and drop by at my free webinars on Saturday mornings. I will help you.